New patch is coming soon with plenty of changes, but first let's have a look at the biggest winner of the previous 2 patches. Ever since the addition of Deathfire Touch, Smolder has been dominating the game. Although he already got some nerfs in the recent patch, it only dropped his win rate by about half percentage point. He is still almost at 54% win rate, and remember, he also has a super high 22% pick rate. His ban rate in Platinum Plus is over 48%, and in higher elos, even above 50%. Also, don't let that rank 2 fool you, he is beyond a reasonable doubt the strongest pick in the game right now. And that's where Riot is coming with nerfs. His passive bonus magic damage on Q is taking a significant nerf. Instead of scaling from 40 to 60%, it's scaling from 25% to 55%. Bonus magic damage from passive on E is also getting nerfed. It's no longer 12% of stacks, but it is now scaling with critical chance up to 12% of your passive stacks. Brand is getting a nerf as well. He is losing 3 base armor. And the third and last champion nerf planned for this patch is Teemo. His E on hit and poison scalings with AD are halved. And on top of that he has armor growth reduced. Now the champion buffs. Diana passive monster damage is increased. Yes, yet again. And on top of that her W bonus health ratio is also increased. Echo's passive cooldown per target is reduced from 5 to 4 seconds. Heimerdinger Q turret range is increased by 20 and by extra 50 against minions. This is basically a compensation for the minion change that made it harder for him to farm. His grenade vision duration is also slightly increased, mostly to prevent his turrets from not firing a beam. Kassadin Q is down by 1 second at all ranks, and his W passive damage is increased by 5. Queen is getting more buffs for the jungle. Her passive monster damage is increased by a half, and her Q monster damage is now going to be double against monsters. AP Xin Zhao is getting some adjustments. Passive damage will now scale with AP from 5 to 20%, but the passive healing will be decreased by either 5 or 10% AP, depending on your level. Now let's check out item and rune changes. Aftershock will have higher bonus resist, but with a slightly lower scaling. Guardian cooldown is decreased in the early game, and the shield amount is adjusted. The base value is lower, AP scaling is also lower, but it has 1% extra bonus HP scaling now. Heartsteel damage to permanent HP conversion is increased from 8% to 10%. Knight's Vow damage reduction and healing ratio are both increased. Locket of the Iron Solari will have 5 more armor and magic resist. Zeke's convergence is getting a major improvement. Now it waits for up to 5 seconds after casting your ultimate for a valid enemy to be close enough to you to trigger storm effect. Now the nerfs. Dreammaker is marked as a nerf, but it has some nice quality of life improvements. Blue Bubble will reduce less damage, but it will affect entire first damaging spell instead of the literal first instant of damage. And Purple Bubble will have 10 less damage at all levels, but instead of triggering on hit, it will trigger on damaging attack or an ability. But the damage will be reduced for AoE triggers. Echoes of Hylia will store less damage, Moonstone Renewer will no longer double dip in heal and shield power and grievous wounds, Summon Eri will have lower shield, especially in the early game. Now time for the adjustments. First one is static shift getting from 40 AD to 45 AD. You might think it's just a buff because that's it, but it is actually marked as an adjustment. Deathfire Touch will now deal magic damage instead of adaptive damage. Imperial Mandate got a rework, and it also has a different build path. Overall it has 5 AP more, 5 ability haste less, and 25% more base mana regen, but it also costs 150 gold more. Now it has 2 passives. It grants immobilizing abilities and extra 15 ability haste, and then the other, when you immobilize enemy champion, you apply 6% vulnerable for 4 seconds. This means enemies will take 6% increased damage. Hexblade is getting a nerf for ranged champions. On use of your ultimate, you will get less attack speed and less movement speed. And finally, Void Grabs. Their damage over time is increased by a third for both melee and ranged champions. And the summoned grabs HP is now 100% of melee minions instead of just 60%. Let me know what you guys think about the upcoming changes. Cheers!